Or turning it down. Hey, welcome to the Real Housewives of New Jersey, episode 12, episode 12. No, season 12, episode 2. See, I had a whole intro planned and look what happened. Let's say hi to everybody real quick for coming in. Hey, Queen Meek. Hey, Private Joy, PVT Joy. Hey, Chandra. Hey, Trey Thomas. I know you are driving, so keep your eyes on that road. You guys, this episode, I have a few questions. One is the same question I had from last time. What the heck is going on with Dolores' tape and extensions? Again, we revisit the scene. You get different angles. You see the tape extension right there. Maybe it's because Dolores is living alone. You don't have anyone to be like, yo, like, what's that in your hair, right? But still, girl, like, I don't know. I hope she's watching this and she never leaves out the house without checking her tape and extensions, or gets real friends that are just like, yo, come here. You know, your friend will be like, come here, and they'll smooth over the track and stuff. So listen, what is going on? A couple of things, right? Let me just get situated, right? There's a couple of things actually going on. For one, why was Dolores so angry and upset? So angry and upset that Jennifer was crying. That really weirded me out. The level of hate and animosity, I was like, why are her tears triggering you so much? And again, it made me think, did Dolores just be in her head like, okay, I have my alliance. I'm going to be like aligned to Cherry Red Jen. Jen and her whole family is Cherry Red, like literally Cherry Red. Am I going to be aligned with Cherry Red Jen? And this is my storyline, and Margaret, and I don't care. And this is my storyline, and I'm sticking with it because Dolores literally said, while Margaret was telling her story, oh yeah, I remember when she reached out to Frank and tried to dig up information about you, and that wasn't right. So if you knew that she was digging information up on Margaret and or Jen, again, why are you so angry? Because you knew. So if you actually like were angry and disgusted by her, shouldn't you have been angry and disgusting when you knew what was actually happening and you knew it didn't make any sense. And even the way Jim was like, oh, you think I'm weak to cry? And Jim was like, what are you crying for? You did it. What are you crying for? I've never seen somebody look at someone that disgusted over the fact that you're crying, that you got publicly humiliated by everyone finding out your husband cheated on you. Now, let me just say this. Two things can be right at once. Margaret, right? Margaret was wrong. No, Margaret was not right, but she was justified in what she did. Jennifer cleared her at the reunion, right? With her old nose at all. Jennifer cleared her at the reunion. Jennifer cleared everybody at the reunion. She came with receipts. She had the bodies buried. But I gotta say, Jennifer should have expected some type of retaliation. And Margaret and her messy self came with retaliation. She came hot off the presses with retaliation. However, I study under the school of humanity and petty messiness. And I would say that when Jennifer was sitting there talking to Cherry Red Jen, and she was like, why would Margaret do this to me? And she was like, so hurt. But I saw that look on her face. Jennifer is going to cut their heads off. And I think she's just trying to decide not who I'm not going to do it to, but who's going to be spared. And when she looked at Cherry Red Jen, and said, do you think she was right on what she did to me? And Jennifer was like, what? Well, Jen was like, what? Well, and started tripping over her words. I said, ooh, so you're on the list too. She's making a list and she's checking it twice. Y'all, Jennifer, the way she cleared everybody at the reunion, got everybody in her feelings, y'all, I can pretty much be assured she ain't stopping. This season, she is going to come for blood. There are some type of people, like, I just don't play with. Not because it's fear or this or that. There's just some people that what did Rihanna say in Lemon? And this ain't a scrimmage. Motherfucker, we ain't finished. I told you we won't stop. There's some people I just don't start with because it's not the fact that I'm scared. It's not the fact that I can't handle them. It's just the fact I don't feel like playing this game with you because when I want to stop, you're not going to stop. When I want to be like, all right, it's over. It's not over. When I want to go to sleep, they're just like, from now on, your sleep belongs to me. And you're just like, oh my God, can we let this go? Jennifer is one of those people. It's not because you don't think you're smarter than her. No. It's just the fact that she won't stop. It's like she can't stop. I can tell by Jennifer's personality. She is laying in bed and she's like, I cannot live on this earth while I know that Margaret and Jen and Dolores and whoever else literally got the best of me. Jennifer's not the type of person to stop. Margaret, I hope you enjoyed this victory. It doesn't, and at this point, it doesn't matter whether Margaret was justified or not. On one hand, I do think she's justified. When somebody comes for you, you got the right to try to take their head off. But also, if you miss, and Margaret did because Jennifer was still standing, if you miss, they are going to come at you with all they have. The fact that Margaret got embroiled over this to get that cheap, got you, yeah, and her and Jennifer, or Jen, Pink Jen, are like smacking hands. Girl, you literally you went to war with someone. You know, I look at Jennifer, I look at all the housewives as, you know, when you go into like ancient Rome, right? What was Rome? Everybody thinks it was this great empire, and it was. But Rome was separate, right? Separate, but interrelated neighbor states. That's why the Roman Empire was allowed to grow so big. That's why it was so vast. When they conquered, right? They assimilated. They were like the Borg from Star Trek. They assimilated everybody into their culture, but they allowed them to keep their own culture. It was separate, but interrelated neighboring states. That was the Roman Empire. Just like if you want to look at the United States, separate but interrelated neighboring states, neighboring empires, neighboring whatever. That's what the United States is. If you think about it, what do we have in common? What does Washington have in common with Alabama, have in common with New York, have in common with LA, have in common with Florida? Separate but interrelated neighboring states, Roman Empire, separate but interrelated neighboring nations, neighboring empires. The thing is, why you waged a war with, to me, a stronger neighboring nation, empire, whatever you want to call it, which is Jennifer, right? And now you guys are clapping hands like you guys won the war, and all you got was a battle. And meanwhile, Jennifer is literally going home and suiting up and literally grabbing like on her John Wick stuff, putting things in her. She's literally ready to go to war. And they think that they somehow made her kill. And I was like, you literally just signed your death warrant. You realize that? You really, literally, when Margaret was like, but Jennifer, and she thought she was gloating. I said, you literally just signed your death certificate. Again, I don't think that any of the ladies are prepared for the way Jennifer is not going to stop. And I say this, right? I say this. We're about to talk to Gia too. We're going to talk to about Gia and Joe Gorga because I got something to say about that, right? I say all this to say that honestly, wait, I have a quick question for you guys. Are you guys watching Girl Trip? You guys, let me know in the comments. I know a lot of people at Peacock, but some people don't. Let me know in the comments if you want me to review the Real Housewives Girl Trip. It's a real funny kiki. It looks really funny. I'm happy to review it in real time, but let me know if you guys already saw Girls Trip or if you want to review. All right. Here. What's up, Amber May? What's going on? Listen, Black Swan, I agree. Jennifer does talk too much, but Jennifer knows how to back it up, right? So we get into the Jennifer thing. I just don't think Jennifer has a lot of hurt and a lot of anger at what's going on between her and her husband. I don't think her husband ever stopped cheating. If you remember, I think it was live from like Christmas of 2021. You barely saw her husband there. I think they have an agreement. Her husband takes care of her and the family, and he's able to go do what he wants. Honestly, even the way they were acting in that car scene, it was a little odd to me. Like, you guys have an arrangement. And Jennifer's embarrassed that arrangement got blown up by Margaret. Now, let me get into what I was saying about the thing. She's going to take all that hurt and all the anger that she has from what's going on with her husband, and she is going to let that explode onto those ladies. Yes. Oh, you want me to regroup girls trip? Okay. Yes. Oh, Jackie's the girl's real name. Okay, sorry, Jackie. I call her Jennifer. All right, Jackie. Thank you, girl. Thank you. Red, pink, Jackie. All right, thank you. I don't know why I think her name is Jen. Okay, so Jackie. Okay, so let's take it to the top. I was live tweeting in this. If you guys are on Twitter, make sure you check me out. It's Tattle Tells, but whatever. We're not here for that. Okay, so listen. Woo, let's start from the top, right? I took notes. Joe Gorga has a victim complex. He is such a victim. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all right now, and this might make me the fan favorite. I believe that children have voices. I believe a 5-year-old has a voice. I believe a 6-year-old has a voice. I believe a 12-year-old has a voice. Kids are allowed to use their voices. Now, do they have the right to be disrespectful? No. But once a child turns 21 or even 18, they are no longer a child to me. You are a cognitive, sentient being. You can say what you want and you can do what you want. The fact that people look at Gia as being disrespectful to her uncle, I find ridiculous. I really do. For these reasons. Joe Gorga is her uncle. That's her uncle. It's her mother's brother. Joe Giudice is her father. I don't understand what you guys are talking. If somebody came and was talking dirty about your dad or dirty about your mom, and they were your aunt and uncle, you're going to stand there and be like, oh, let me be respectful. And here's the thing. The way Gia took Joe and wrapped him up, she didn't raise her voice. She didn't curse at him. She was patient with them. Joe Gorga, the professional victim, tried to get up plenty of times and run away from the problem because that's what he does, because he didn't actually want to say, yeah, Joe, the same way you care about your mom and dad, Gia cares about her mom and dad. And your parents are gone, maybe they rest in peace, but Gia's parents are right here. And you're hurting not just Gia's parents, but you're hurting all the little girls. Now, we can argue, oh, Joe Giudice did that himself by getting into prison. Maybe so. But y'all gonna sit there and let your aunt and uncle talk about your mom and dad? You're gonna sit there and see your brothers and sisters hurt about the trash your aunt and uncle is talking about your mom and dad, and you're not gonna say anything about it? You're gonna just at 21 years old, you're just gonna let that go? Y'all crazy. Y'all literally just be making things up. Oh, don't talk to your uncle like that. All right, but don't talk about my father like that, because at the end of the day, aunts and uncles can come and go, right? Maybe I'm close to them. Maybe I'm not. But if my mom and dad go, my whole world's rocked. Joe Gorga knows that. Theresa knows that. So why are they not affording Gia the same love that they feel for their parents? Why can't Gia have that for her daddy? Why? Because Joe Gorga says she ain't ish? Because we decided he's not ish? Because Joe lied on a mortgage application? Did y'all ever lie on a car application? Did y'all ever lie in y'all life? Okay, I'm not going to make that false equivalency, because what he did was wrong. He went to jail. Fine. But because we say Gia's father ain't ish, what? She got to forsake him and show Joe Gorga, somebody that's been on our TV for 10 seasons, acting a damn fool. They did the flashback of where he started a fight at a christening. Joe Gorga can confront all he wants about breaking his parents' heart. But I remember Real Housewives in New Jersey. Joe Gorga's the reason his parents lost their house. Remember, that's why his dad couldn't stand him and why they were so disappointed in him? Joe Gorga literally pulled his parents' house out from under them. He's the reason they lost that house. I remember Joe Gorga, and I remember all the stuff he did. But again, I'm talking about inter-family dynamics, because you don't think that Gia's dad is ish. She's supposed to forsake the man that she has all these beautiful memories with. Say what you want about Joe, and maybe he wasn't the best husband to Theresa. Theresa, that's between him and Theresa. All the girls are super tight with him, and all the girls love him. You feel what I'm saying? So it's kind of like because we decided Joe Gorga was what, the likable one, the funny one, you know, Mr. Poison with like his fake wife, Mellissa. Now we expect Gia to sit there and let somebody talk trash about her dad on national TV. It wouldn't be me. It wouldn't be me. And I would have wrapped them up the same way Gia did. Gia didn't raise her voice. Gia didn't scream. Gia didn't do anything. All Gia did, right? All Gia did was calmly tell them about herself. Don't talk about my dad. Oh, but your dad did. Yeah, I understand that. But don't talk about him to me. And don't talk about him to my sisters. Because we're not here for this. And this is what Joe always does. You want me to fight your battles. Just like he expects Theresa, Mellissa, all of them. Everybody in Joe's a professional victim to me. He's a man-child. Everybody in his life fights his battles. And now you somehow think that Gia and her sisters are supposed to listen to you talk trash about their dad, right? And then internalize the anger you have and what? Fight their father on your behalf? Why? Why? And for y'all saying, oh, that's what they should do. Since when does uncle overstep dad, especially an involved dad? I want to know. I'm genuinely confused. Listen. Joe was the one arrested, convicted, and deported for criminal offense. He is the one that caused Joe Gorga's sisters to go to jail. That's right. But again, what that got to do with Gia? Gia wasn't saying, Uncle Joe, you're a piece of trash. Gia wasn't saying, Uncle Joe, you're the reason. Gia had one simple request. Don't talk about my father to me or my sisters. What world do y'all live in? Do y'all love anyone in your lives? Do you love anyone in your lives? Do you love your father? Do you love your mother? Do you love your brother? Let's just say you have a brother and he cheats on one of his girlfriends or gets his girlfriend locked up in jail. Does she have the right to stand in your face and talk shit about your brother to you and your children? Let's just say that your dad is a piece of shit. However, he's not to his daughters. Do y'all understand that? And honestly, I gotta be real with y'all. Joe Gorga, Joe Giudice, he served his time. He served his time. He was arrested. He was convicted. He was deported. What y'all want that man in the ground dead? All he did was lie on a mortgage application. Y'all have more, not y'all. People have more sympathy for Erica Jane that robbed the whole nation than Joe. What did Joe Gorga lied on mortgage applications? Y'all act like he killed somebody. He lied on mortgage applications. He lied on mortgage applications. He went to jail. Theresa went to jail for lying on mortgage applications. He went to jail. Theresa went to jail. They did their time. They paid back the restitutions. He got deported to another country. What more punishment does he need? What more punishment? When does it stop? Do y'all believe that people do their time and then they move on? When does it stop? He didn't steal from orphans. He didn't beat anybody. He didn't even steal from anyone, because guess what? All of his properties that he lied for to get those applications, I think it was only one. They were in good standing. So he didn't even steal money from anyone. Where is this hate about him being a scumbag because he went to jail? Okay, he went to jail. He paid his dues. When y'all gonna move on? Seriously. Rebecca, I understood thing. Listen. No, because here's the thing, Meep. You think it's about him cheating and verbally disrespecting Theresa? Let me tell you something. If you think that Joe Gorga, who literally, even this season, him and his wife are throwing Theresa through the wolves. If you think the reason Joe Gorga is talking trash about Joe Giudice and disrespecting him is because he's defending his sister's honor, you are delusional. I'm just saying. Literally, Joe is not doing this to defend Theresa. Joe is doing this because he don't like Joe Giudice. Joe is doing this because he's mad that someone he's always been jealous over. Because Joe Gorga is a jealous person to me. He's mad that someone that he's always been jealous over? He's mad that Joe Jiu-Jitsu is not underneath the ground. You ever see someone that's so jealous of you that it's not enough for them to do good? You got to do bad. And they got to go by and you have to be on the street like, here's some change, sir. Because that's what they want. That's what's going on. Joe and Mellissa don't give a damn about Theresa. Joe and Mellissa are the reason Theresa's in jail right now. You didn't know that? You didn't know that before they got on the show, Joe and Mellissa were the ones feeding all the gossip to Daniel Staub? You didn't know that the FBI agents, that literally they were at dinner parties, literally giving up tapes and selling the business and telling what was going on? Now you could say, oh, well, they shouldn't have been doing bad. But again, do family bonds mean anything or do they not? Either one, right? Gia shouldn't have been disrespectful for his uncle because family's everything. But then the same family is literally talking to your enemies, giving them information to pull you down. If you want to talk about Joe Jiu-Jitsu, played a role in Theresa going to jail, and he did, the biggest role. Well, when are we going to talk about Joe Gorga? But even aside from all that, if y'all think that Joe is going in on Joe because of the way he talked to Theresa, do you guys not forget the shit Joe Gorga said to his own sister on national TV? Calling her what? Did he call her his whore sister? Do you not forget the things Joe Gorga was saying to Theresa on national TV for the last 10 years? And now y'all talking about, oh, it's because the way he cheated on Trey and the way he talked about her? Really? Now Joe's son? Okay. Anyway, let's move on. Listen, again, I get it. It's all about feeling. For whatever reason, you guys don't like Joe. You guys don't like Theresa. I get it. And that colors what you're saying. But I'm just saying, two things can be true at one time. Joe could have been a horrible husband. He could have gotten Theresa locked up. He could also be a really good father to those girls and somebody they love dearly. And who are you, me, or Joe Gorga to go in front of a little girl or boy that loves their parent and tell them, well, I think your parent's not shit, so you should hate them? Come on now. Stop it. Y'all on some other stuff, right? Joe Gorga was the one who ran to Theresa's home to take photos of Gia's birth certificate and Theresa's IDs when they forgot to take them to prison to see Joe Jiu-Jitsu. He did that because he loved Gia. You guys, I don't understand. And EHC Bunny, I'm going to have to disagree with you because you know what? The mark of what somebody does is not a little favor here and there. I could have asked the neighbors to do that. Stop, EHC Bunny. You act like he literally gave blood or something. He literally gave, and listen, and one of the reasons he did that is because Theresa, you know what, EHC Bunny, I'm going to have to dig into this real quick. One of the reasons he did that is because at this time, Theresa was cutting people off. She got Kathy kicked off the show. She got Kathy's sister kicked off the show. At that time, Joe was kissing Theresa's butt because they wanted to stay on the show. And Bravo said, without Theresa, there's no show. And Theresa put her foot down about who she was going to film with. So why you want to point out that thing about he ran and got ID and this and that? He did that because he was in the middle of kissing Theresa's ass because he had spent the whole last season being on the wrong goddamn team. And now he was trying to kiss her ass to show her. And if you think that I wish somebody would do the things that Joe Gorga did to me and then literally do me a favor of taking pictures of ID. And now that shows you, that's all you can come up with, EHC Bunny, that he ran and got IDs. Because he loved Gia. He did it because he wanted to stay on the show. Because him and Mellissa picked the wrong team all the season before. And Bravo was shutting down production and restructuring. I remember what was going on around that time. Bravo was planning on shutting down production because Theresa was going to jail and Theresa's the whole damn show. And Mellissa can't even hold water, not even a storyline. And literally, they were restructuring the show so it was more conducive to a show that Theresa wanted. And Joe and Mellissa literally cut Kathy and her sister off. And they were doing what they could to kiss Theresa's butt. Now, let me ask you something, right? Let me ask you something. How many times did Joe Gorga go visit his sister in jail? Forget about Joe. How many times did Joe Gorga go visit his sister in jail? The one that he loved so much, the one that he was fighting for. Man, get out of here. Get out of here. Listen. Thank you. Just like a mother shouldn't talk crap about their children's father to her children, so should not her aunt, uncle, grandparent, or cousin. Let a child make a decision about their own parent. Exactly. I feel you, TG, because you know what I honestly feel? Let the child make their own decision about the way they feel about their parent. And again, we're reality TV people. We need to take a step back. And I know I'm guilty of it too. I'm not talking down to anybody because I do it too. I be talking like I know these people. That's my job. However, when it comes, I can still recognize that when it comes to a parent-child relationship, it don't matter if I think the person's a piece of crap. If the child feels that the dad or mom has done enough to earn their love, that's between the child. So it's true. Somebody can be a horrible boyfriend, but a good brother. Somebody can be a horrible son, but a great father. Somebody can be a great father, but a horrible husband. All these things, you're lucky if you get the great of everyone. You're a great father, son, husband, lover, sister. Yeah, great. But you realize that we can all be things. You know that thing, you're a villain in somebody's story. You're a villain in someone's story. And let me tell you something. If Theresa literally goes out of her way to stay out of her daughter's relationship with their father, who the F is Joe Gorga to come in and literally not only give your opinion, but let's not act like we're not on reality TV. You're not talking trash at the neighborhood restaurant. You're not talking trash at First Communion. You're talking trash about my father and keeping it alive in people's memories, why he got deported. And basically the worst time, imagine the worst time in your life when your family got ripped apart and was divided. The worst time. Your mom's in jail, your dad's freaking out. Then your mom comes home, your dad gets deported. People are laughing at you. It's a horrible time. And you can say, oh, well, so what? Blame Joe Diditi. Yeah, I know, but come on, y'all. Let's not be simple-minded. Yes, it all started from Joe Diditi. However, how can we be mad that a child who is now an adult, a gorgeous adult too, she grew up to, Theresa's girls are chef's kids. They were cute kids, but woo, those genes kicked in. Woo, that Theresa and Joe, if they didn't do nothing else, every one of those daughters is breathtaking. And I love all their personalities too. I don't care what y'all say. Gia did such a great job. So intelligent, so reserved, controlling her emotions, wrapping Joe up and setting healthy boundaries. I have the right, right? I have the right to literally tell someone, do not talk about my mother. Do not talk about my father. I don't care whose child I am. I have the right to say anyone and defend and set a boundary about the person I love. I have a right. And Gia has that right too. And she did it beautifully. Because I don't think when I was 21, y'all can tell, I loved it. I don't think I had it in me to have that emotional control. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying, right? Listen, but listen, the thing is, when Gia told Theresa that she was wrong, I agree, but she did it with respect. I don't understand why people act like Gia was being disrespectful. So you're trying to say that you are never allowed to speak to an adult and establish boundaries? That's why kids these days are getting abused, and I'm not even being funny. Because they were raised that you don't ever have a right to put a boundary up against adults. But when you tell people from a young age that they don't have a right to put boundaries up, I'm sorry to tell you guys, but 9 times out of 10, when they get older and they get into intimate relationships or even friendships, they have a lot of trouble establishing boundaries in those friendships and in those interpersonal relationships. Life doesn't work like that, where someone teaches you, shut up. You show respect. You don't have a right to voice your feelings. Who are you? Who do you think you are? It's very rare that when they get older, they're just like, oh, I am someone. Now I can voice my opinions. The same way people bow their heads and submissive to their parents and abuse and all that stuff and their relatives. When a new person comes that mimics the same behavior as that abuser, all you've taught them is to bow their head to that abuser. That's all you've taught them. That's all you taught them. And you taught them not how to establish personal boundaries. I'm sorry I have to be the one to say it. I'll be the bad guy, but that's what you taught them. And again, they might be able to establish boundaries with everybody else. Like, oh, what are you talking about? But when the person comes that mimics her Uncle Joe, or when the person comes that mimics whoever, her Aunt Mellissa, she will accept the same behavior from them as she's accepted from the people you told her to bow her head to, because that is what is learned. That's what's learned. That's what I believe. Children have the right to speak as long as they are respectful. And when they are so young, an 8-year-old is not going to go to head with an adult. That's why they tell their mommy or daddy, and then you as the mommy or daddy, you go to war with that adult. But once they are 18 and 21, absolutely you have, and listen, I believe they have the right to establish boundaries with their family when they're young. An aunt or uncle says, come here, give me a kiss. No, I don't want to. All right, leave her alone. She don't want to give you a kiss. Why? I'm her uncle, I'm her aunt. Because she don't feel like it. You're not owed a kiss. Move on. I'm not sitting here and teaching my child that, and again, I know you guys are rolling your eyes, but this is one of the first things. I'm not sitting here and teaching my child that she has to let her personal boundaries be violated, or even kiss someone or accept a kiss from someone that she doesn't want to. I don't care if it's blood. It's her body. I know you're her blood, but it's her body. She can do what she wants to it. You know? Yes, there's little things like, come on, be polite, say hi. That's teaching your children to have manners. But to teach your children to accept things from people that they don't want, when they're too young to save themselves, they tell you, you protect them. But once they get 18, 21, set up those boundaries, because I'm telling you, when they meet someone that reminds them and has the same personality profile as the person you taught them to accept the BS, they will accept the BS. I'm just saying. Listen. Exactly. Thank you, Chandra. Same thing. No children. Again, and I don't, but I'm just saying, like, there is nothing wrong with telling children they have boundaries and they have a voice. Again, look at Gia. The way Gia addressed her uncle, and not even that, her uncle started with her because Joe had smoke. He was like, Gia, and you sitting there, what you got to say? Beg your pardon? Me? Oh, you want to talk to me? Okay, let's talk. And Gia was so calm. She said, okay, let's talk. Oh, how dare you? I'm your uncle. Yeah, but that's my father. You can't do it. I'm your uncle. And he went running away. And then Mellissa came. Gia, you know, your daddy loves you just like Antonia. And Gia is just looking at her like, Mellissa, shut up, right? Because that's another thing. We see on TV what they show us every week. Gia's live with these people. I take Gia's word for her reactions because she actually knows the real. All we know is what's edited. Hell, last year, y'all thought Portia Williams was the sweetest, naivest, little dumbest peach in Georgia with a good heart. Little loopy, but so gorgeous. And she just wanted to have fun. And now we know that she's the second coming of Damien. All right. Keep in mind, when it comes to reality TV, I trust the people that are actually living with these people as to how they truly are, as to what's being portrayed on TV. I just do. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up, JV? Hey, and what's up, Andrew? You guys, hit the like button. Hit the like button. It's 230 people in here. Thank you so much for joining. I know I just started this. And also, while you guys are here, let me know if you guys want me to review the Real Housewives girls trip in real time. I might start moving the Real Housewives of New Jersey review till after the girls trip, and we can go on at 10:15 and really talk about everything. We can talk about both things at once. Let me know if you want me to do. Yes. Joe and Mellissa are frauds. I will not convince. Oh, Andrew said, with all this said, it does seem like Theresa has trained her kids to wear rose-colored glasses alongside her. At some point, they'll need to acknowledge the truth. You know, Andrew, maybe I haven't, and maybe. But again, we don't have to go at it. Disagree. I don't believe, and I'll die on this hill, I don't believe that petty mortgage fraud for a house you were maintaining warrants so much venom. Again, they lied on a mortgage application. The money was paid. They were keeping up the house. It was definitely wrong. But y'all gonna sit here and act like y'all never lied on a job application, on your first car note, on your first rental application when they asked you how much you made. Now, listen, I'm not saying everybody did, right? Some of us were lucky. Our parents could take it. We had somebody helping us out. We didn't have to worry about that, right? But I know for a fact, right? I know for a fact that plenty of times I've been like, what's up? Huh? What? Oh, okay. What was your position? What'd you do? And how long did you work here? Okay. All right, cool. You gave him my cell number or my office number? Okay. How many times did I have friends put me down and say that they worked for me? How many times did I have that happen? Literally. How many times? And of course, I'm that friend. All right, girl, what was your position? Where did you work? All right, cool. All right, bet. I got you. Don't worry. Y'all stop. Stop playing. So, you guys, stop acting like Joe killed somebody. He lied on a mortgage application. They got the harshest penalty they could because they were trying to make an example of them. Both of them did their time. It's over with now. They paid their debt to society. It's over with. But for y'all to sit here and act like y'all never either, one, lied on a rental application, lied on a car application, lied on your first apartment, lied on your first resume job, lied on the second job, or lied on any type of application, or you were not the ones covering for your friends and acting like lying for your friends so you could give them a good reference. Lying on, like, stop it, y'all. Stop. This is why people check references, because they know people just be saying stuff. Granted, did I ever lie on a thing? Who knows? Did I actually cover for my friends whenever they ask? Absolutely. Yeah. Hello? Yeah. Yes. She was a joy and a delight. Hold on, woman. What's this for? Oh, she was a joy and delight. You know, if there's one thing that I can say to critique her evaluation, it would be nothing. We miss her. And then when they're like, oh, well, thank you so much. You gave her the best thing. I'd be like, you know what? Make sure you let her know that if she doesn't get this job, there's always one waiting for her here. Okay, bye-bye. Yeah, she's a great employee. Stop it. Y'all, listen. What? But here's the thing. Theresa still doesn't want to take accountability for what she did. She still won't acknowledge what Joe did, and she acts like, Andrew. But does she need to take it anymore? She served her time. I get it. You want to make sure she's punished, but Theresa served her time. No accountability is if they had never gotten caught. Theresa served her time. She doesn't have to apologize anymore. It's over. She doesn't even have to acknowledge it. She did her time. She did it in the harshest way. Didn't her parent die while she was locked up? She lost a parent in jail. She lost a parent while her husband was in jail. And she lost another parent while she was in jail. I honestly feel like she paid her debt to society. She don't ever have to apologize. This goes to anyone that served hard time, except murder or the R word. But if it's for a white collar crime where nobody was physically hurt, if it's for a white collar crime, stealing from a corporation, I genuinely feel like she paid her debt to society. Why can't we just move on? She don't ever have to bring it up with Joe. Forget about apologizing. She never has to talk about it. It's over. It's over. Joe's upset about the death of her parents. Okay, you know what? Let's get into this review. Because y'all keep making excuses for Joe Gorga, but you're forgetting something. What was Joe Gorga's excuse before they had charges and when both his parents were alive? And he was literally calling her his whore sister and cutting up at First Communion and throwing chairs and stuff. Joe has not changed, but y'all keep giving Joe's actions a new excuse. When Joe's parents were alive and well, and Theresa and Joe, nobody knew that they were doing that mortgage stuff. Joe Gorga treated Theresa the same, and he treated Joe the same. So now that you guys have an excuse, it's like, oh, well, no, he was always like this. He didn't change. Nothing changed. He was always like this. Go look at the first season they got on till now. Nothing's changed with them. So what's your excuse about Joe back then? Why was he doing this shit back then? Because he's jealous of his sister, and he's always been jealous of Joe's. And y'all can't agree. Listen. Exactly. We are imperfect people. Listen. What? Exactly. Theresa doesn't need further carceral punishment. I just wish she set a bad example going forward. I agree, Andrew, but I actually think Theresa, I think for someone that's been on reality TV so long, and I also think, excuse me, for the way those girls grew up on reality TV, in the eye of the storm, and the way her dad went to jail, her mom went to jail, both grandparents died. I'm not going to lie. I actually think those kids turned out really, really, really good. I really do. I really do think that those kids, all things considering, turned out really good. Considering we're in the Bravo universe. Nobody's on drugs. Nobody's in jail. Nobody's acting out. Theresa, even though it does wear rose-colored glasses, that's where her strength comes from, because I think she never allows herself to acknowledge how bad things are. But considering the storm that they were raised in, and maybe their parents created the storm, right? But considering the storm and utter shit show they grew up in, those kids seem really beautiful and well-adjusted, you know? Yeah. Okay, so, what happened in the episode? Let's get through this, right? So the scene opens, Dolores' tracks are still showing. Please, somebody cover up that girl's tracks, right? Joe comes in hot. Gina balls him up and sent him running. He's mad that he can't handle a 21-year-old. But that is something about Joe and Mellissa Gorga. I feel like neither of them can handle, like, on-the-spot confrontation. But I think also that might come from having a very, very domineering dad, that when he came at you, like, you don't know what to say, so you just freeze. So I feel like with Joe and Theresa, when they have confrontation, they both freeze. Again, there's a story about why Theresa and Joe are the way they are. And again, I'm not even going to talk about Theresa's parents. May they rest in peace. But it would be interesting to actually look into how they were raised, right? Now, I thought it was super sweet that Louis came in to Gia while she was talking to Joe as Gia's backup. I thought it was really sweet the way, and again, Andrew, you know how I know there's a blind item floating around. Andrew thinks it's all about Louis. I think some of it might be about Louis. And you guys are wondering what the video that they're talking about looks like with Louis. It's on my channel. Go ahead and look at it. It's not that bad, but it's on my channel. It's a video that everybody's talking about with Louis. But I thought it was so sweet the way Louis came and backed up Gia as a man and her father figure while she was talking to Joe Gorga, to make sure she felt supported, and also to make sure that Joe Gorga couldn't just say whatever he wanted to Gia. I thought that was sweet, you know? Let's see. Joe is projecting about, Theresa never wants to do this. Theresa never wants to do that. I will say this. Joe and Theresa are the exact same. Neither of them like taking accountability. I will say that. Theresa doesn't like taking accountability, but I have a little soft spot for Theresa, as you can tell. But Joe doesn't like take it either. But they both have that problem where it's almost impossible for them to admit that they are wrong. Almost impossible, right? Gia sits there and calmly speaks facts. She lets Joe know how much he is hurting her and hurting her sisters. So if Joe's saying, and I understand that logic, if you're telling me that my dad's a piece of trash and you're doing all this because you're mad that he hurt my mother and he hurt us, but I'm sitting here telling you as your niece, who you literally have not talked to in 6 months, and Joe's the adult, as your niece, you are hurting me and my sisters every single time you bring it up. So if you're doing this to save us hurt and your anger, stop, because you're adding to the hurt. And Joe was stuck. He couldn't say anything. I thought Gia did such a great job of explaining this. And Theresa, her rose-colored glasses. I'm so happy because she just wants everybody to get along. And Mellissa is like running interference, because that's one thing I can say. Mellissa and them all seem like they're super tight. Like I will say, no matter what issues Joe Gorga and Joe and Mellissa and Trey have, those kids, cousins, they were raised to be cousins. They love each other. They hang out with each other. They're super tight with each other. Those kids were raised to be cousins. And that's a beautiful thing, you know? They were raised. Hey. Theresa did have a rumor that Mellissa was a stripper. Listen, I'm not saying Theresa's an angel. I think they have both done horrible things to each other. They have. But what, hold on, let me plug my laptop in. But what Joe Gorga is doing to his nieces don't got nothing to do with anything Theresa did. Do you see what I'm saying? Listen, they've all done horrible things to each other. But that don't got nothing to do with the kids. It doesn't have, I'm plugging in my thing. It doesn't have anything to do with the kids. So who cares? What, who did, what, how? Seriously, it doesn't have anything to do with the kids. All right? That's all I'm saying. Now, okay. Listen, what did ECH say? Joe Jiu-Jitsu, EC Bunny, no, we disagree. If how are you talking about Joe Jiu-Jitsu is involved in organized crime when Carol goddamn Manzo and her sister Dina and Carol, it's literally Carol's husband's father was found bound up and dead in a truck. You talking about Joe Jiu-Jitsu has secret ties? There's actually real ma is Carol Manzo. Look what happened with Dina Manzo and the way Carol sided against her own sister. Y'all, I can't listen. Okay, each bunny is saying Theresa is good at playing see no evil. She's always pretending nothing is wrong. Okay, what's wrong with that? Let her. Like, okay, that's how she kept her family together. Like, I don't understand. Theresa, this isn't about like people calling her names. Theresa went to prison. Her parents died. One while she was in prison, one shortly after. Her parents died. Her husband went to prison, then got deported. She literally went through hell. What y'all want her to do? Be sitting there on the like comatose? If Theresa didn't have that see no evil, what she went through would have broke her. It would have broke her. Let that woman be strong. We're not talking about rumors. We're not talking about whether your husband was cheating on you or not. We are talking about shit she went through that most people wouldn't have been able to recover from. Let her have her see no evil. Why do y'all want her to see that evil? You really honestly think she wasn't breaking down in her little orange jumpsuit every fucking night crying about how her life got? You don't think she was so scared when she got out that she wouldn't be able to rebuild? Her husband got deported and she got 4 girls she got to put through school. Do y'all not think Theresa hasn't broken down? But I'll tell you what, Theresa was raised, never let them see you sweat. And if having a smile on her face made it easier, I don't blame her. Why would you want? Again, these aren't rumors. These aren't speculation. This isn't like whose house is better or whose husband was cheating. We are literally talking about doing hard time. Anyway, let's see. Okay. I will say one thing. It looks like Joe and Mellissa might get a bad edit from the season. It looks like they might get a bad agreement. Now, when Jennifer and Bill were driving home in that car, I really said to myself, yeah, I think Jennifer and Bill have a arrangement, if you will. I think that Jennifer agreed, you just take care of me. This is my kids. And he's allowed to have his girls on the side because Jennifer and Bill, that was such a weird conversation. He hasn't stopped seeing anybody. He's still doing what he's doing. And Jennifer's fine. Well, I don't think she's fine with it, but Jennifer has chosen to accept it. I think they have an arrangement. And the funny thing is, it's almost like the arrangement that Jennifer was raised in. Remember how Jennifer was telling us about her family and her mom and what her mom had to suffer? This is why I keep saying you cannot raise your kids with the same tired expectations you were raised and expect them to be better and stronger than you. Most likely they get in situations just like you were. And just how they saw you accept it, they'll accept it too. Jennifer literally has the same situation her mom did. It's a little better. It looks a little better, but the same situation her mom had, that's what Jennifer has. Again, Jennifer was taught and raised that sometimes you suffer, sometimes security is enough, sometimes this, sometimes that. But she literally is following a play, right? It's like a movie. And all of a sudden, it's no longer you. It's act two, and now your children are acting out the same movie. Same scene, different cast, you know? Now, I will say, Jennifer's house looks amazing. I mean, she's not doing this for a 2-bedroom apartment in Hoboken, if you know what I mean, right? Look at the house that Tears built. All right, Jennifer, right? I will say, her husband, you found out 10 days before you were due that your husband was cheating on you. You looked through the credit card bill, so he wasn't even trying to hide it. And when you confronted him, he was like, yeah, I'm cheating. Was probably waiting for her to find out. And the next day she went into labor. And then she said they never talked about it again. What does that let you know? He kept on doing what he wanted to do, and she kept her mouth shut, you know? Okay, Life of Deshanta said, Theresa went to prison because of her own wrongdoing along with her husband. We don't feel sorry or have a soft spot for these thugs. First of all, Deshanta, a thug is somebody that does physical violence to someone. Theresa literally lied on a mortgage application, and I'm sick of y'all acting like lying on a mortgage application is the same thing as being head of a goddamn mafia family. Stop it. Save that smoke for Carol Manzo, who literally, how about this? Why don't we save the smoke for Carol Manzo, right? What did Carol Manzo do? Carol Manzo wrote a letter to the court asking that they release her ex-brother-in-law out on bail because he's a good man and not a danger to a community. What did her ex-brother do? Her ex-brother hired people and pawned a free wedding at the Brownstone to pay people to break into her sister's house, Dina Manzo, to tie Dina and her then fiance up. If you didn't know, Dina is married to her husband is Carol's husband. So they both married brothers. Those brothers were part of an organized crime family, for real. Their father was found bound up and taped up in a trunk with a bullet in the head. They're the real mob, not this fake thug shit you guys keep talking about. Learn the definition of what thugs are, right? Carol wrote a letter saying he's a good man, let him know he doesn't deserve, and got him released on bail. What was his crime? He broke into Dina's house, his ex-wife's house, tied up her and her husband. Well, they were waiting in the house when they were coming back from, I believe, Adriana's christening, Teresa's daughter's christening. These true thugs were waiting in the house and beat Dina and her boyfriend within an inch of their lives. And Caroline literally wrote a letter saying he's a good man, let him out. That's a thug. That's organized crime. Please learn the difference. And again, stop with you guys' moral hijinks. I'm glad none of you guys ever lied on an application. Not your resume, not your job application, not your rent application. I love all these perfect people in the chat. I love it. I love it. But for you guys to act like because somebody lied on a mortgage application, never mind the fact that they were keeping the house up. Never mind the house that the bank was getting paid. For you guys to act like somebody lying on an application deserves the rest of their lives being ruined. You guys are sick. It's sick. Let it go. It's sick. Listen, it's sick. Listen, fine. Deshanta, you can think they're thugs, but I'm just saying, learn the difference. And Deshanta, listen, I'm cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. But calm down. And this is my channel, I don't believe that somebody lying on an application deserves their life being destroyed. I don't. Now, you can be publicly mocked. You can be publicly humiliated. You can even maybe get probation, have to pay back all the money, restitution. But do I think lying on an application deserves your life being ripped apart? No, I just don't. I don't, and I'm never going to. I see literally people that are people that get away with shit. I see people that mess with little kids. Nothing happens to them. I've seen people that have literally done things to little kids that got less jail time than Theresa and Joe. I don't want to hear it. There's enough people in this earth that do truly horrible, disgusting things that we can save our true hate for. Again, do they deserve to be publicly mocked for it if they had not gone to jail? Absolutely. Publicly humiliated? Absolutely. Publicly dragged? Absolutely. Do they deserve to maybe be shunned by their friends? Yeah. You know, we just can't have people lying everywhere. But do they deserve for their lives to be ripped apart? Man, let me tell y'all something. Y'all talking about this with Joe and Theresa, and I do feel some type of way about this, not because it's Joe and Theresa. Hear me out. You guys are talking about this. Do you know every person responsible for our economy plummeting in the toilet, people being ripped apart, people losing their homes and their pensions, no retirement, not one of them did a day of jail, not even one of them even had to pay back the goddamn money, not one of them even got 1 day of probation. So what I'm trying to say is, yes, keep that anger, but why don't you direct it into the people that's really causing this shit instead of like on some low level stuff? That's all I'm saying. Not one person that was responsible for the mortgage crisis went to jail. Do you know how many people I know that lost their 401ks, lost their houses, lost their cars, lost their jobs, families destroyed? People deleted themselves from this earth because of the shit these greedy bastards did, and nothing happened to them. And not only did nothing happen to them, but people still invite them to charities and balls and do all this shit. Nothing happened to them. That's the people that are pieces of shit. Those are the real thugs. But for you guys to sit here on some moral high ground about somebody that lied on a mortgage application, and get this, when they lied on the mortgage application, it was part of the bigger scam. It was part of the bigger scam. You realize that the banks were just telling people, it don't matter, just write anything down, we'll approve it. It was a scam the banks and these billionaires were running. And yeah, Theresa and Joe took advantage of it, but a lot of people took advantage of it. They weren't checking credit. They weren't checking anything. And if you think that people were getting over it, it wasn't. They were literally building a bubble. Because let me tell you something. Look at the people that had the money before. They got even more money. And all those people they put in the houses, when they couldn't afford them anymore, that hedge funds that were funding this bubble went in and bought all that property en masse. They bought it at dirt cheap rates. Y'all, you really need to actually understand what was going on at that time and really focus your anger on the people that needed the anger to be focused on. You know? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Andrew said, oh, we do. Andrew, oh, we do. That's why it's gross to watch Ramona salivate over those Wall Street. Again, listen, now that's who I call thugs, those Wall Street guys. They are thieves. They are thugs. They are horrible human beings. They are responsible for people, parents deleting themselves from the earth, people being homeless, being whatever, right? Listen, Deshanta, but the thing is, though, I know nobody's in the cast angry, but but Joe and Theresa thing, and I'm not defending Joe and Theresa. What they did was wrong, but it just sickens me because I knew lives that were very shattered by the dark, evil energy that was coming from Wall Street. And again, it's something personal. It makes me mad that nobody was ever held accountable. But we keep holding little people accountable. And honestly, I honestly look at it as when, especially being a Black woman, too many people have been incarcerated over too many things. As long as it was nothing dealing with violence, deleting somebody, hurting a child, hurting a woman, hurting another man, as long as it did not, I feel like if it's a white collar crime, do your time, do it well, and come out and make a big thing. Hey, what's up, Lily? And come out and make one. I am really big into criminal rehabilitation, and I believe for white collar crimes, right, that if you do your time, then when you come out, you have to be allowed to rebuild, because there's a lot of people now, even if you deal with anything dealing with the criminal justice reform, that when they come out, so I know we're talking about it with Theresa and Joe, but it is something dear to my heart, because when these people come out, right? When these people come out, They get the same thing. They go and get a job from McDonald's or Wendy's. People spit on them. People don't want them. You know, you look at in California, Davey, you know this, right? The way that the people incarcerated are the ones that usually fight the forest fires. But when they come out, they're not even allowed to be even firemen because of what they did while they were in jail. I don't think that's right. I think as a country, we have a very unforgiving nature. Let me get back into this review. I'm on my soapbox. But I think in this country, we have a very unforgiving nature. And I think for certain things, it's like, when can somebody just let go and rebuild their life and actually be afforded the dignity? Just because you did a bad thing doesn't mean you're not afforded. And this isn't about Theresa and Joe, right? This is about just criminal justice reform. Just because you did a bad thing, if it was white collar and you, once you do your time and they pay back all the money, like, when are we going to let it go? You know? And again, this isn't anything about Theresa and Joe personally. I'm just saying, just as a general objective point of view, right? Listen. Okay. EHC Bunny says, you act like Joe's business partner deserved this credit. Being effed is okay. I bet you'd be pissed. Okay, let me tell you something. If his credit is effed, he can go and get that removed. He can. He could have wrote that off as debt or as a business thing. All right? Again, for stealing that $250,000, Joe Giudice lost everything. His wife divorced him. His parents-in-laws died. He got deported to another country. Do you think he paid for the $250, or do you want him dead, EH Bunny? Do you want blood? Like, what do you know what, EH Bunny, why don't you tell me what is the fitting, and get this, he paid all the goddamn money back. So EH Bunny, I got to ask you, what is the fitting punishment? What more could Joe do? He paid the money back. He did his time. His wife did time. The family's destroyed. He's over there. That's my question to you. What more could he have done? What's missing? What's missing? Tell me, because maybe I'm looking at this wrong. What's missing? I'll wait. Yeah. Said, yep, it's so wrong. So many folks never get a chance, whereas rich celebrities like Luann get all these chances in the world and it's effed up as much as they want. Exactly. I agree. But honestly, I want to know each, Bunny. Listen. Okay. Anyway, let's go this, right? Listen. Let's get back to this. Oh, Jennifer's family. Sorry, guys. Let's get back to the room. Jennifer's family, right? Their whole families are bright cherry red. I never knew. Literally, maybe they're just all allergic to the sun. Maybe they have all Irish skin. Is Jennifer Irish? Because her family was burnt like they were at the vacation at the beach. And then I looked at Jennifer and I was like, oh, wait, I think you're actually red too, but you use like a lot of foundation. I guess it's rosacea, but I thought that was interesting. You know, Jennifer's scenes are wasted every single time. I understand last season Jen had a storyline, but for some reason I find like the scenes just like a bit wasted, right? But she did have a storyline last year, so we'll wait. Marge and Dolores, that was a wasted scene. Again, can someone explain to me where Dolores' utter contempt, rage, and anger toward Jennifer crying has anything to do? Like, where did that rage come from? I'm genuinely concerned. Where did that rage come from? Seriously. Even the way she looked at her is like, why are you crying? There's no need to cry. And I was like, oh, calm down. Like, girl, let that woman cry. Like, she's hurt. And the thing is, like I said, she said in the beginning that she knew that Jennifer was trying to dig up dirt on Jackie and on Margaret. So why are you so angry? Again, listen, why? No, you lying, Steph. You lying. You lying. You lying. Oh, is that what it is? Dolores was once a cop. She must have been oh, so that's what it is. Okay. Dolores was once a cop. Okay. All right. That explains it. That explains it. Because there was just like this thing where I was just like, okay. What? Okay, yeah, Steph, he announced, sorry. Anyway, Steph, let's go. He announced that last week. You talking about Bree Tessie? Yes. Okay. Girl, you late. We been talking about that. You saw what he got for Valentine's Day, a giant machine thing. Anyway, let's go. Okay, so what else is going on? So that was my review. Nothing else really happened. They're going to have a showdown at the thing. Just Dolores is being really cold-hearted. I'm waiting to see how Jennifer gets all of them back because, baby, and here's the thing. I always may maintain you can do whatever you want to another person. There really are no rules. Do what you think, react the way you think, but you cannot get mad if you have no boundaries for the way other people react, because they'll react with no boundaries. However, if you choose to react, you can't get mad that they hit that right back. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, listen, Margaret, I understand you did what you had to do. Jennifer cleared y'all at the reunion. And listen, I don't blame you. I don't blame Margaret for what she did. I don't blame Jackie for, I keep calling her Jennifer. I don't blame Jackie for what she did. I don't. However, Jennifer has a lot of hurt and anger and rage, and there's something in her personality where she cannot lose. I wouldn't have engaged with someone that doesn't know when to stop. Like I said, she's like on something, and this ain't a scrimmage. Motherfucker, we ain't finished. I told you we won't stop. Literally. There's some people. Do I think I'm smarter than them? Yeah. Do I think that when it comes down to it, in a fight to the death, I can take them? Absolutely. Do I want to engage in a fight to the death? Absolutely not. So what do? Okay. Well, you have a nice one. Bye, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Frank also swiped money from his client's settlement accounts to invest in those gems that he later gave to Dolores. I remember that, Andrew, and he gave them to Dolores because he was hoping if he transferred them to Dolores in like the short sale that they wouldn't be able to reclaim those businesses from Dolores. Yo, this is another thing about hypocrites. Everybody on that show has done something a little bit dirty. Maybe that's just the way Jersey rolls. I don't know, but I find it weird that everybody's so hypocritical because Theresa and Joe were the ones that got caught. Do you know what I'm saying? As for Margaret, oh, look at Andrew coming with the facts. Andrew said, as for Margaret, Vineyard Vine sued her because Margaret's projects had a logo that looked lawful like I remember they had that copyright infringement. Oh, Dolores' dad was a cop too. Ooh. Yeah, Dolores was going through stuff with her ex-boyfriend, but the anger was too much. You know, I agree with that, Andrew. That's fair. Multiple things can be true. The Giudices committed crimes. The Gorgas may not be on the up and up either. Don't get me started on Dolores and Marge. You already finished. That's true. Multiple things can be true. Yes, exactly. If your credit's damaged in a third-party fraud, you can dispute it. It can be corrected. I got stuff off of my credit report. I mean, nobody stole $250 from me, but there was fraud involved, and I got it off my credit report. Literally. Oh, okay, thank you. Hi, Theresa and Joe committed bankruptcy fraud as well. Well, let's talk about the bankruptcy fraud. The bankruptcy fraud was just them lying to the bankruptcy judge. Theresa's actually suing her lawyers, and it looks like she's getting a settlement because she said, my lawyers, and I believe Trey's not smart enough, my lawyers told me that I didn't have to list that as income. And she followed her lawyer's advice. And because of that, she went to jail. She's actually suing her lawyers. Her lawyers were big lawyers. It looks like she's going to get a settlement from that because they did misadvise her, and they cost her going to jail. So listen, again, it's deep. Listen, Andrew has all the tea on that. Listen, I agree. They're all scams, Theresa included. And I agree with what Andrew said. All things can be true. But I also think that out of all the scammers on that show, Theresa and Joe actually paid their debt to society. So it's kind of like, and I think they did more than just jail time. And it was more than just the money. Their whole family was destroyed. Again, I think their debts were paid. For me, you guys can feel what you want. But for me in a moral court, their debts were paid. Now, if they start scamming again, that's a different situation. But out of everybody on there, it's a different situation. It's a different situation, All right, you guys. So listen, thank you so much. Listen, next week, I think what I'm going to do is, and I want to can you guys let me know in the comments, like the actual comments? And if you're listening on playback, let me know. Do you want me to review Girls Trip so that we'll do it at the same time? and we can have this review it like right after Girls Trip goes off? Or do you guys just like this right after the show with Real Housewives and you guys really aren't feeling Girls Trip? Please let me know what you think. I know a lot of bloggers already reviewed Girls Trip, but if it's your first time seeing it, you might want to actually review Girls Trip real time. Do you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying. But let me know. Listen, Carol tipped the feds to protect her brother who did business with Joe, meaning a cop deal. I believe that too. The Mandels are dirty, 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 dirty. Oh, Dolores is mad because Jennifer mentioned that Frank said to Dr. Aiden. He now denies it, but I feel that Evan may have had an affair, but did flirt with someone, and Joe and Frank knew. Oh, maybe that's what it is. Ooh, that would make sense, Carol. That would make sense. Yes. Okay, you like Girls Trip? I think we're going to do Girls Trip right after. Let me know in the comments, especially if you're watching this. You know what? Actually, I'll do a poll too. But let me know and we'll do this. But you guys, anyway, thank you for the second Real Housewives of New Jersey. We're going to keep growing. Listen, we are 220 strong, but we are going to keep growing. Oh, and next week we'll take in callers. But this week, I got so many videos to make. I really got to go. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And thank you, Andrew, for your repertoire. Thank you, HC Bunny, for getting it wrong. But you know I love you, girl. And thank you, Lily. Oh, also, you guys, make sure you follow Lily, the Red Lipstick Hustler, on YouTube and on Instagram. She is starting her channel. She's starting to do lives. She's going to start doing tape videos also. I'm going to give her a little advice, right? In my opinion, I think tape videos would be so good for you. But make sure you follow Lily, the Red Lipstick Hustler, all right? I'll talk to you later. Oh, you're welcome, Chandra. Bye, Nerva. Bye, Mim. Bye, Andrew. Bye, Black Swan. Bye, EC Bunny. Bye, Queen Meek. Bye, everybody. Bye, Meme J. Thank you, everybody. And Carol, Mama T, Leona, Queen Meek. I already said bye. Living Life, EHC Bunny, FAH. Thank you so much. SA. Thank you, SD. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, SA. Steph CF. Thank you, Amanda Jones. Thank you guys so much for joining. Kelly Westfall, thank you too. Leona White, thank you, thank you, thank you. Life of Deshonta, thank you. Thank you so much for all. EA, thank you. Lashina, thank you. And Natasha, thank you for joining. I know I'm doing all these. Thank you. Mama T, I love you too. Thank you so much for joining. Shag, I don't even know who that is. It looks like a bot. Thank you. Mishka, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you so much. Did I get everybody? Rebecca D, thank you for joining, Mama. Amanda Jones, thank you. SRB, thank you. Andrew Davey, you always in here deep, and I love your repertoire. You know, maybe we're going to have to do a joint review of Real Housewives of New Jersey. Maybe next time you can come on and I'll give my thing, and then you'll be like, wow, I remember, because I love, you are a housewife historian. Atlantic Creole, thank you so much. Debbie Penna, thank you so much. OBA, thank you. Antonia Christian, thank you. Lady Paul, thank you for joining so much. All right, you guys, I think D Hall, thank you. I think Meep, how can I forget Meep? Jacqueline Gardner, MEP, thank you. Maya Contreras, thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. I said, Debbie, oh, TJ, how did I forget you? MT Cali Waves, thank you so much. Spoiled Shorty. Oh, and Pro Pam, thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate all of you guys so much. All right, Saya Laya, thank you so much. All right, you guys, let me get out of here. I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.